I want to thank you both, Liz and Adie. That trick works. Love the trick. Before we jump into like the heavy stuff, can you let us know a little bit about like both of you before the diagnosis, how old you were, what you were doing, how maybe then mom that changed your life and the trajectory or outlook that you were traveling down, and just let the viewers know a little bit, and then we could jump into like the heavier stuff.
Sounds good. You want to start off?
So before the diagnosis, I was in sports. I was in soccer. Not football, soccer. So I just been playing soccer. I played soccer for a while since I was 6.
Yeah,
Oh, so you're good at it.
Somewhat.
I would say so.
So you're the soccer girl.
Well, she was full on activity. Soccer, she was doing cross country.
Both at the same time.
Yeah, like she.
Wow.
Yeah, very active young girl.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing I was doing mostly.
Yeah.
Was just sports.
And school.
In school. Yeah.
I was in school.
Thank God for school. I'm just kidding.
This is kind of at the end of COVID, so you guys didn't have to deal with COVID yet for this.
No. We didn't. We did. That was way after. So this was in 2024. So she was still running normal teenager, up and down, sports, just busy. The usual athlete, student, teenager girl with friends and outings and social life. Same thing. And for me, it's always been mom life, work, right? Because I work full time, and then I still was in school at the time. I actually just graduated, so I was going to school to get my master's.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So kind of, building my own career while still kind of racing them. Normal stuff, I guess. We think about it now and it's like, yeah, pretty normal stuff, I guess, that you end up missing later on. But, busy life, you don't think of a lot of things. 9 to 10, school, kids, outings, vacations. At that time, we were planning her Sweet 15. So then that was also interesting.
And where are you guys now? You live you're not in New Mexico.
No. We live in Eastville.
No, big families are great. No one can annoy you better than your family.
Yeah, I think that's where we grow our crocodile skin, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I tell them all the time, it's hard to have soft skin when we're so many, because we're so diverse and we're so different personalities and different mindsets and different everything, because we're not all alike. So it's interesting to have the different personalities and challenges and everything that comes its way. Right?
Well, she's like, no, thank you.
No.
I mean, there's so much boys in the family, so definitely you get crocodile skins.
Yeah.
Uh,
The boys beat us by just existing. There's a lot more boys than girls, and then everyone else is all boys. So yeah, boys try to rule our world, but they do not.
they know who's boss. So you're 15, you're going to school, and your mom's going to school, but also working crazy hours. So how did you find out about this diagnosis? Because we haven't mentioned yet, but she was diagnosed with
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
And you were 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she had it in her neck. So she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, but it was in her lymph nodes in her neck.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel it? Were you feeling like, how did you figure out or go to see a doctor to?
So how I figured out, I knew we were gonna go out that day, so I was just getting ready, and I noticed like half of my face, like my left side of my face, was bigger than my right side. So when I saw that, like my head, like inside my brain, I was like, okay, check your whole entire body, because I'm in sports, so like if you get injured, you want to check everywhere. So I just checked my head to toe, and then I saw my neck, and it was like lumpy, like there was a lump. And so like I just ran to my mom's room, and I just like said, hey, like there's something wrong with my neck, like half of my face is swollen and then there's a lump. And so she thought it was my tonsil, so we had a Zoom meeting with my doctor.
We did a KP care, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Not my favorite thing in this world.
No.
No.
Well, that was the first time around. So the first time around, so we're talking about, she was 15 diagnosed, but we started noticing, or we didn't notice anything actually, when she was 14. So she kind of got like a swollen lymph node. Well, now we know it's a lymph node, right? But
Right.
back then we thought it was her tonsils or something. But she wasn't sick. She wasn't, no fevers, nothing. It was just a swollen lymph node. So we took her first. So we did the KP.org. They told us, okay, she's probably sick, right? And so we went in. They gave her antibiotic, right? Antibiotic.
This is my. So you went to a doctor now,
Yeah.
and they didn't do blood work. They didn't examine you. They just gave you antibiotic.
Yeah, they gave me antibiotics. They said it should go away in 10 days. And
if it didn't come back.
Yeah.
But at that point, she did take the treatment, and it did go down. I'm assuming it
Well,
never
steroids,
left.
that's why.
Yeah. It went down. So then we didn't think much of it. We kind of.
I thought it went away because it wasn't there no more.
Yeah.
So.
But it made a grand appearance right before her quince.
Kind of woke up like that, or had you noticed it and not really like paid attention, and that day it was just like really
I don't think I've noticed it till we were going to go out, and they said to get ready, and I was like just doing my makeup, and then I noticed that's when I noticed like half of my face was swollen. So I was like, okay, this is not normal, and I'm not allergic to anything, so there's something wrong.
Yeah, so they did antibiotics. It came back. Then they did an ultrasound on it. So they took measurements of the lymph node, because they, something to kind of compare it to, I guess, in a sense of having it in record. And that was pretty much it. But I don't remember the exact numbers on top of my head, but I'll tell you, like the first ultrasound, it was, we'll just put to put into perspective, it was the size of like a radish, say like a radish. It wasn't huge, but it was noticeable. It was big enough for you to notice that something was popping. But she took antibiotics after that, went away, or went down, because we truly never went away. And then after that, it came back, but it came back bigger. But this is October of 2024, like September, October. School had just started for her, and once again, no changes. So no, she's not tired, she's not losing weight, like none of the red flags that people think you assume to see. No symptoms at all, just a swollen lymph node. And then it came back. But this time her face was like kind of like deforming itself in a sense, kind of pulled and stretched out on this side.
It's the mass growing. So.
Yeah, so it was like kind of just pulled. So then we're like, okay, yeah, that's definitely not normal. Once again, we go to the doctor, and they're like, oh, antibiotics, and we're like, no, we're not doing antibiotics. Like she can drink them and it's gonna go away, but it's coming back. So we want to know what is it. But that's when Adie was like, I'm not taking it. I want you to tell me what it is, because it's not normal for me to have that.
Well, good for you you. But were you seeing like your normal
pediatric?
Not the greatest.
Fair enough.
I just, the more and more I do this, the more and more I think I get more frustrated than like happy, because I'm sharing stories and I'm finding like a connecting the dots thing, because and it's still connecting from like when I was 11 and my mom was diagnosed. It hasn't changed in 40 years. Again, it's like doctors, simple things you do are just blood tests. You don't just guess. Blood tests, it's not going to hurt her. She can take them, and in like 4 days they can have the results and at least check the boxes. So it's like, that just frustrates me, especially for you being 15. It's like the longer you wait, the more time that goes. And I don't know how it is out west, but if they tell you to see a doctor, it could take 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks to get in to see the doctor. And then you're just laying on more and more days from an actual diagnosis. So sorry, that just frustrates me to hear.
No, we share probably the same frustration, just because, like I said, what came back, and then they did another ultrasound. So we're talking about like, this is a mist of like 3 months, 4 months in between each ultrasound till like the last one, and it was growing rapidly, and we had no idea. So that's when it's like, we pushed one doctor, and she's like, antibiotics again, and we're like, no antibiotics. And then we went back, and then she's all like, so then we went to urgent care. And urgent care, we had this other pediatric that's not even her primary doctor at all. And we talked to her again, and then, she's kind of asking the right questions. She starts
Mm-hmm.
telling us, like, has she been sick? Has she, oh, so backtrack to the first one, they did test her for mono, right?
Okay.
She came out negative the first time around.
Well,
And then,
that's weird. Mono
yeah,
would do that.
so they're saying that Hodgkin's lymphoma and mono has some kind of link. So when they did I'll get to the specific of that, but I was just your reaction was my reaction because I was like, mono, what does that have to do with any of this, right?
Well,
So first time around, negative. And then we go back, and then they're like, okay, antibiotics. And we're like, no, continue to go. We go, right? And we go home in a sense, wait a couple of days, and just kind of like, I was ready to take her to TJ because my mom was like, take her to TJ and have her get an injection. Yeah, because my sis in TJ, there's like a tree. Oh, sorry, Tijuana.
oh,
Tijuana.
we're talking across the border. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because my mom
All
was
right.
like, it's her tonsils. Your sister suffer from her tonsils. They could never figure it out here. I took her to TJ and they did it, like they gave her a shot and she's been good. So then I was like, okay. I'm gonna go. I'll take her that route, but I've never been a fan of that. I'll tell you that. So I was like, I'll think about it. But this time we were already in the process of trying to like push doctors. So we went back, and the one from urgent care was like, asking the right questions. She got blood work done. Nothing showed up. And then she did her test again, and mono came back positive. But she said it was so they had done two different tests on her, or two different times of tests, and mono came back one time negative and then one time positive. So she's like, this is a false positive, right?
Yeah.
So then she tells me, like, okay, well, I don't know what it is. She's going to say she's going to refer us to see a head and neck. So then she puts in the referral. And then she calls me like 2-3 days later, and she's just like, hey, I'm just relieved to call you and let you know that I put in the referral for head and neck so they can figure out what that lump is. And I'm just glad to tell you that I don't have to refer you on to an oncology doctor. And I was just like, wait a minute, whoa. That's the first time I heard that, right? So I was like, oncology? Wait, you think this is cancer? And she's like, no, I will. It crossed my mind, but all her blood work came back good. And I'm like, okay. Put that like in the back of my head. It kind of just like slapped me, kind of just like, what do you mean? Yeah, I was like, I know what that means. What do you mean oncology? Like, so then of course, we get scheduled to see a head and neck specialist. At that point, we're talking about this is already.
I was so like
This is already after your quince, huh? Before.
Yeah, after.
So you had the consent first.
She did,
Yeah, I did.
and we had a blast, and we had no idea that our
I-
life was gonna change.
Yeah, I totally forgot about my whole situation with my neck because that's how fun my day was. I wasn't going to make
Yeah.
something so bad, not knowing what it is, ruin my special day.
But at that point, she didn't have any idea that it would be
Right.
cancer. So we just
She didn't tell me.
No, because I mean, nothing.
She's a mom.
Yeah, there's nothing
Yeah,
for
she
me to
didn't tell
tell
me.
her because there's nothing. I'll tell you what, though, I did tell her that everything came back good, and I told her that that it's fine, that it's nothing to be worried about. This is my words. We're talking about urgent care back in like September, right? Doctor said you're good. We're good to go. So then, of course, head and neck comes in, and we take her in, and they see her. I didn't
I
go with
went-
you to this
yeah.
appointment. Her dad took her to this appointment.
So I went, and I remember that day because I was like my finals for school. So I was upset that I had to miss my final because that means I'm going to fail it. But I was with my dad. He took me. And so we went in. They checked my vitals and everything. And then we just sat in the chair waiting for the doctor to come in. And then he came in. He literally just sat down. And
No,
then,
this was before Dr.
No. This is. So he sat down and then he literally just examined my neck, and then he said it could be two options.
Oh, yes.
And so I was like, what are the options? And so he was like, it can be an infection that can be removed in surgery, or it could be cancer. So that's when the first time I ever heard of that it can be cancer. So I asked him, like, if it's cancer, like, what do you think the percentage is? He's like, he thinks it's a low percent chance of it being cancer, and it's just an infection. So that kind of calms my anxiety, but he's like, he's not sure that he needs a CT scan. And since I was
Not
already...
a CT, a biopsy. You need a biopsy. So she got a biopsy done, but then he did say,
It was a CT scan. I got a CT scan that day. That
No,
same
you
day.
went that day for CT, but then she got CT scan. And then he said, hey, she'll know better than me sometimes.
You got the side eye.
Yeah, I got the side. You saw that? Teenage.
No, that day, yeah, because we were there, so we were like, might as well go get the CT scan done.
Yeah.
So we got it done, and then after that, I don't know what happened next. They called mom.
Well, after that, we went in for results. So the head and neck wanted her to see her colleague, his colleague, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And for what? We don't know. At that point, we didn't know. We were just like, okay, fine, another person to see, because everyone was very like, what is it? And we're like, well, what is it? You guys are the experts, not us. We're here to see what is this.
Wild again. That you still haven't had a biopsy yet.
No biopsy. The CT scan comes back and they do another ultrasound. That's when we find out that it is bigger. So then he pretty much says, we need a biopsy.
Mm-hmm.
So then that was like, her biopsy was done, December?
Well, I think the only reason why my anxiety started going up is because I was originally supposed to come back in January of 2025. But they called my mom, like, saying, why is it so far away? We need you to come in on Saturday. Like, this coming up Saturday. So that's when she told me, I was like, okay, something's actually really wrong here at this point.
Yeah.
So that's when we went inside and saw his colleague. And he was like, I'm happy he didn't sugarcoat nothing. He just went straight to the point. Like, I never cry in a doctor's office, but that day I cried so much because he literally just examined me and then said it's cancer.
He didn't hesitate.
Before the biopsy.
Before even giving us results or anything, he walked in and was like, "This is cancer," and we're like, "How do you know?"
How big was the mass now on your neck?
It was the size of an orange, because when they removed it, it was the size of an orange, but it was growing inward.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see.
But how much was it pressing against the skin?
I would say like maybe.
It hurts when you touched it.
No, you could probably like.
It was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
And no one else felt it hard?
Well, they felt it, but they didn't think it would be anything until this guy came and was like, and I tell her, like, because, you know, she was like, I hate this doctor. Like, how is he selling this? And I'm just like, well, once everything was confirmed, so we went in for CT results with him, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to meet him for the first time. And his words were, this is cancer.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
I was so mad.
And then of course she's crying, you know, I'm like, you could have pulled me to the side. Yeah, like you just like, and then she's like, I'm gonna die. And I'm like, wait, where are we going my head to the went extreme, right? Like, as I heard, but of course,
I was like, okay, well.
I mean, it's one of the scariest diagnoses anyone gets at any age.
Yeah. And not only that, it was just brought like, oh, it's cancer. And you're like.
He might have also thought that by the time you saw him, other doctors probably had mentioned it multiple times.
I want to say maybe, yeah. I would think maybe, because it just doesn't make sense that he would. But we're talking about. And I told him, like, wait a minute, we're here for CT results. Like, this is what the CT revealed, because this is not her first CT scan that, you know, can be done, and nothing. And he was all like, well, we need a biopsy to confirm what type it is, but yeah, it's cancer. And I was just like, okay.
I think the only part that I said, like, I didn't like him is when he just, like, went back on the wall, and then I was, like, so confused. I'm like, so what is it? What's going on? And he's like, oh, in the back of my head, it's cancer. I was like, right. This is the first time I met you. This is the first time you examine me, and you're going to sit here and just, like, right off the bat, just tell me. No sugarcoat, nothing. Mm-hmm. I was just like, okay.
Raw, straight raw.
Well, is he the surgeon also?
No.
No,
it was another surgeon. But okay, in the midst of this, so I didn't know who he was. All I knew was he's a colleague, right? Another head and neck specialist colleague. That's all we know. We don't know anything. You know, we're waiting for biopsy results to confirm everything, or to confirm the type of cancer she has, right? And then my understanding at that point, because I had no understanding, I had no idea what any of this meant, and I have no idea what the lingo, the process, nothing, right? So in my head, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get type, stage, you know, everything in one.
You gotta cancel that TJ trip.
We did. We never made it.
I think the funny part, the one thing the doctor said not to do, she did. They said don't search it up on Google. And
Yeah,
what
well,
did she do? She searched it
Well,
up.
yeah, I had to look. I had to be informed. I had to do my research. I'm not gonna get caught with like, empty-handed. Like I have no questions. Like no, I have 1,000 questions running through my head. I have to bring them back down to make sense. So in the midst of this, we're waiting. We get a call. They tell us yes. Why is your appointment so far? We get back in. They tell us the results, and they tell us she has Hodgkin's, right? So we're at that point. They said either Hodgkin's or non-Hodgkin's. We didn't know, and of
Mm-hmm.
course I researched, and then I was like, God, I mean, no cancer is good,
yeah.
right? But non-Hodgkin's is obviously a little bit more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, God, if this is it, like at least make it not as hard, type of thing. Like in my head is like it was like give her the Hodgkin. So then they confirmed Hodgkin. So at this point, I we came home, we talked her, and then she told me, she said, "Mom, you told me nothing was wrong with me."
Wow.
She said, "You told me nothing was wrong."
Mexican guilt is the same as Jewish guilt.
Yeah, yeah. And she looked at me, and all I could do is just like cry. And I was just like, the doctor said you had nothing. Like, I just reiterate what she said. Like, I just gave you the information she gave me. She's like, I have cancer, and you're telling me that this is nothing. And I was just like,
Yeah, I was in all of my feelings. I was crying when I was telling her that, like, you told me it was nothing, you told me nothing was wrong, everything was fine, and now they're telling me I have cancer. Like, a little warning or a little heads up would have been nice on what's going on, because I'm the type to figure out, like, hey, what's going on. If they don't tell me, then I'm gonna go searching myself. Like, I'm gonna go find out myself. But I was really, like, really heartbroken, and like I didn't know what to do, and I was like,
well, this is before we got the official, like,
full results confirming
results
it. Yeah.
confirming. We kind of just knew there was cancer because he said it was cancer. Biopsy came
Yeah.
back, revealed it's Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then from there
I had to do another biopsy.
she came. So they called us, and in the middle of this, I left. I ended up the first time that I heard that it was serious, or that I took it serious in a sense of like it was going that way, right? I ended up leaving. I left. I drove all the way to San Francisco. I drove and cried and yelled and whatnot. And in the midst of it, of course, here comes my brain, and I do research, and I come to find out that his colleague was actually an oncologist, head and neck specialist.
Oh, you didn't know that at all.
I didn't know that at all.
So he knew going in.
Yeah. So then I connected all the dots, and I was like, why do they treat us like we're stupid?
I don't even know if they think patients are stupid. I think that unfortunately we're in an era now, because you and I are probably actually you're younger than me too, probably, but there's no more bedside manner. It's all so scary on the medical side that they can be sued for just saying the wrong thing to affect one
Yeah.
person, that it's not right and it's not wrong. It's just horrible, because I'd rather them just have great insurance companies that will and lawyers that will just say, this doctor has a right to talk to patients as they need, and if a patient has a problem with that later on, we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Because now you're a mother, you're going through the trials and tribulations. Here's a young, 15-year-old girl who's has her party. She's 15. She's doing everything 15-year-old girls do, and it's a shock and awe. At any age is weird, but when you're in the middle of like figuring out who you are, it's even different of a shock.
That is-
Murder, yeah.
I think it's definitely because any age is, and I agree with you, any age is horrible. Any age, there's no right age to get cancer, and it sucks no matter what age you are. I just think that at her age specifically, it's more of you're not just getting poked and going through treatment. You're hearing, you're listening to these things. You're probably researching, right, what you're not supposed to. You're reading the wrong things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's at her age, don't know what good research is versus non-good research is, in a sense. So you see the first thing, and the first thing that comes out, it's always like, you're gonna die, this is gonna happen, and it's like, this might not be. Well, clearly we learned that that's not everyone's outcome, right? Because even myself, I'm guilty of it. I was
You were going to go to Tijuana. I'm sorry.
Yes, you know what I mean? Because we were like, what is this? Like, this can't be, like if they can't give me an actual diagnosis here, then what is it? What is it? My mom's like, it's her tonsils. And I was like, okay, of course I'm gonna listen to my mom. We don't know the lingo, so I had a full breakdown. That's like the first breakdown that I had in this journey. And, I leave, I do a bunch of research, and I come back and I just like, oh, like, why can't you tell me, just tell
Yeah.
me everything. And I'm that person that if you tell me like, okay, I'm gonna refer you to my head and neck specialist, like colleague, but he's oncology. Like, I think it might be this. Like, like, I'm fine with you. Like you said, I'm sure
You
that's
gotta be mentally prepared.
I'm sure that's the issue, is that people take everything out of context and then they sue them and whatever. But I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, it's more of like, just tell me what it is, or tell me what to prepare for, even if it's not the outcome, right? But yeah, so I did full research and found out that he was on oncology. So then I had even more of a breakdown, and I just drove and cried and hit the
Just got in your
brake.
car and you left your family
I
and you
did.
drove to a whole nother town, city.
Yeah, I did. It's like what, 8 hours from here. I left
Oh
with
my
my
God.
sister. Yeah, and I normally don't drive. I like to be passenger princess. I do. I don't like to drive. That's like a big thing for me. I really don't like to drive unless I have to drive. So, but I drove. I drove, and my sister just kind of let me do my own thing, and she was there with me. But we went to the, what is it called? The bridge in San
Golden
Francisco, the
Gate.
Golden Gate Bridge, and I just let the air hit, and kind of stayed out there for the weekend. I have family out there, so it wasn't like I went to randomly a place, but I come back and then I was ready to attack it. So then, yeah, we get the call, because we don't even they don't even tell us to go in.
Yeah, I think I knew in my head that it could be. I still kept thinking it could be cancer. It could not be cancer. We don't know yet until the results of the needle biopsy that I took. Because he said, because the doctor, he's like, he gets all the information, 99% of it from the needle biopsy. So
Yeah.
no, not true. I had to get both of the biopsies. I had to get the needle and the surgic
And the
one.
removal.
Mm-hmm. So I had to get both biopsies, but from that biopsy, I full on broke down. Well, I didn't know what was happening until I started putting dots together, because usually when we got the call, it was on a Friday, and I had like the best day ever from school. Like, I just had a good day, and then I get a text from my uncle, my auntie saying like, "Where are you at?" And I was like, "This is usually my mom picking me up, not my Thea or Theo, or not at the same time." So when they picked me up, everyone in my family knows that once I receive bad news, I won't eat. Like, my appetite to eating will go away. So they made sure I ate before going home. And then I got home and I went into my mom's room, and like I just see her in like the dark. She's like, her eyes are puffy, so I'm like, who pissed my mom off at work today? Right? Not knowing about the biopsy, not knowing about anything. I
She
totally
forgot.
forgot.
We
Like,
were waiting for results.
yeah, I totally forgot. That's how good day I had. And
That's
then,
good though.
yeah,
Yeah.
also at the time I was trying to convince my parents to let me get a dog.
Oh, I bet
So,
you have one now if I had to ask.
yeah, two babies.
You have three if you want to, hon.
Yeah, whatever she wants now.
Yeah. So, the convincing, like, my little saying that I always do to my parents is like, okay, I'm gonna die if I don't get one. So I left and I went to go see my little cousin, and my dad got home. I didn't know till I entered the room again, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go convince my parents again to let me get a dog. And then I just see them on the floor, my dad on the floor, my mom on the beanbag. And then I went, and then they're like, oh, close the door. And I was like, okay, so I closed it. And then I'm like, okay, before you guys say anything to me right now, I'm gonna die if I don't get a dog. She starts break down.
I bawled.
She started crying. So I
I
was
Your
like,
said,
dog.
oh my God, what
don't
did I?
say
Yeah.
that.
I was like, wait, what's going on? Until I saw my dad's face, because he was like, whoa. Like, they didn't know. And then my mom, she was like, she started off with, just know how much I love you. And I was like, it clicked to my head again, and I was like, damn,
I have
I
cancer.
have cancer. I literally said that. I was like, I have cancer, don't I? And then that's when they started bawling. That's when they started hugging me. And I cried a little bit. And my brother was walking home from school, and like they didn't want to tell him, because it was like still like they don't know how to tell him. And so I was just like crying, and like I went to go give my brother, like, I literally, when I saw his location, I ran downstairs, left the house, ran and hug him because he was literally about to be home, and he's like, he sees me crying, and he was like, oh, like, what's going on? And I'm like, we just got the call. And he was like, oh, what they say, is it good news or bad news? I said, it's not the best news that we wanted to hear. And it's like, oh, like, I got diagnosed with cancer, so now I have to get surgery in like a few weeks from now. So it was just like, I was just like, my whole entire life just changed right there in that moment. I was just like, maybe I should have said I was gonna die if I didn't get a dog. Maybe I should have said that. But yeah, I think that was like the hard day. Like, I just had the best day ever, and now it turned into like a really, really bad day.
And on a weekend, so you just have to sit and manifest all of
I
it.
just had to sit in and just like,
And yeah, that was hard. So I got the news, and then I break, and then my husband gets home, and obviously it's a wreck. It's a wreck.
Yeah.
It's honestly, when you hear those words, it's like your world is flipped upside down in like a matter of seconds. Like exactly like you said, like nothing matters at that point. She can have whatever she wants. She can have, you know what I mean? Like you think about it, and it's like, what what problem do I have? Nothing compared to what. And mind you, at this point, we don't even know what's coming. We're
Yeah.
just preparing ourselves for this journey. We have no idea what stage is it in. We don't have no idea what it in itself, like how spread it has been, because at that point we had heard that it has spread. So she had it
only on
on
my
her
left
left
side.
side, but right there they told us that it looked like it spread to her right side and lower on. Luckily, the right side was not cancer.
Mm-mm.
It was
Oh wow.
just her left side. Yeah, so it was really early on that they caught it. Thanks to her. She advocated. She was like, "No, I don't.
Oh
This is
yeah.
not normal. Like, you can't tell me that this is supposed to be there." Like, and her even just like, what teenager's gonna be, checking herself in a
Yeah.
sense of like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not something that is taught. It wasn't taught to me, so I definitely didn't teach it down. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-mm.
it's more of a it's
Self
different for
awareness
yeah,
more.
like that self-awareness. She looked at herself, something's off. Hey, something's going on.
Yeah.
This is not normal. She felt it, and that's when we found out everything. And then it was like she got surgery the day before my surgery, so then
The day before her birthday,
oh,
not
sorry,
surgery.
other way.
I got surgery like
Oh my
3 days
goodness.
before her birthday.
So you had a later quinceañera, and then so told you it'd be fun, but can't be making up stories. No. So
I
how
meant,
how when you got the diagnosis, though, it was Friday night. Well, you knew Friday. You find out Friday afternoon. You spend the weekend before we moved to your mom's birthday. Um, did you know yet, or how did you start planning? Like, when was the next call for like to set things up? You didn't, and how did you just go 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later to a surgery?
Oh, we to where to
Surgery.
before surgery.
so at that point we've had a CT scan, and then they did the needle biopsy. We got the results confirmed Hodgkin's, and then from there, that's when they called us and said, oh, she'll have so they told us they'll do either biopsy, right, which is the removal of the full lymph node to try to remove it, and then do the biopsy to confirm it, or they do the needle one, which is the one that they just extract the cells. First they were like, that's gonna give us all the information we need. Wrong, nothing, just confirm Hodgkin's. So then after that they called us and were like, okay, we need to get you in. So then they called me. After that, it was a matter of like phone call after phone call after phone call. Like, it was like she was considered stats, right? So then she was like, everything was like urgent. So then from there, it was just call after call, that it was just like, schedule this, schedule that. So we knew that everything was coming, but we didn't know
It was gonna be
to
coming
what
like this.
force it was coming. So we knew that she needed to
They
get it
talked to you
removed.
about like chemo or stem cells
No,
or
no, not yet.
Not
Not
until
yet.
after my surgery.
Hmm.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
not until. Mm-hmm.
Not up until January.
This is so backwards that I feel like I'm either confused or I'm hearing it in like a third world dimension. So they're not discussing treatment options, this or that. They say you just have to remove it, and they're not even telling you if she needs radiation
Yes.
or chemo, even before or after it.
No. So they said because we have to see a pediatric oncology. So where we went, it was all adults. So then they transfer her whole case into pediatric world, right? So then at that point, but this is already, mind you, we didn't hear about treatment until Feb, and this is like Feb. So she was fully diagnosed or officially diagnosed February 5th.
Okay, of
And
2025 now.
2025 now. So then after that, we talked to her doctor, and then this was like February 13th or like the 10th, 11th, because she started chemo Valentine's Day, like right after. This is the first time that we hear anything about like treatment. We went and then they gave us like a roadmap that it could be, but this is, mind you, we don't have stage, we don't have all we know is she has Hodgkin's, so we don't know anything beyond that. So at that point, we did her surgery was January. We went back in February. She was diagnosed February 5th with Hodgkin's, and then after that, we were waiting for a PET scan. PET scan
Okay,
is the
so
one that revealed
make sure people are following. So you're diagnosed at the end of 2024, right?
20. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just say like December-ish. What
yeah. Like
timeline?
we're in the process of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then they call you, and then it's now 2025. You have the results. They say you have cancer. They don't specify anything, and they don't talk about any treatments. They just say, we need to get you on the books. You have to have surgery. We have to remove the mass, I'm guessing they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all you know about.
That's
They
it.
didn't talk about anything else.
No, but we knew that it was Hodgkin's. That's it. We didn't
Oh,
know what stage. We didn't know. Yeah, by the time they removed it, we knew that she had Hodgkin's. We just, because her diagnosis was that she had cancer, we just didn't know if it was non-Hodgkin's or Hodgkin's. So then she got it removed, and then that confirmed, when they removed the mass, they confirmed that it was not, it was Hodgkin's lymphoma. So then
okay.
February 5th, they gave us a paper officially saying she has cancer. And then after that, we were waiting for PET scan. PET scan revealed what stage she was in, and
Okay.
then based on the stage, that's when they went over like the roadmap in a sense of like, this is going to be probably a treatment. You know, is she only chemotherapy or the
Stem cells.
no, not stem cells. It was the oh my god,
TJ.
TJ. No, TJ's out of the question. It's the other one that has to do with chemo. So they give us basically like a full roadmap saying like these could be the options. So option A or option B, depending on the results. And
Honestly, I
then,
prayed for option A.
which was just
Well,
chemo. Yeah.
that no one ever.
Well, he said radiation would be like harder, and I'm like, well, I'd rather just take one thing and that's it, instead of doing chemo, radiation, chemo,
Oh my God,
radiation.
what is
So I was
the
like,
name
I'd rather
of
just take
that?
chemo than have both at the same time.
You probably need to not be on TikTok doctors. I'm going to be a strong advocate against that for children.
I agree.
Yeah,
Or
Chemo is
Google
so
itself.
hard on your body.
It is. It
it
is.
is.
But the way that they kind of like explain it, and that's what I'm telling you. That's the crucial part, right? That in her head, all she heard was, "This is the easier road." It's not easy, right?
It's
And
not.
so you think about it as a teenager's perspective, and it's like, you know, as an adult, you're like, "What do you mean?" Like, nothing of this sounds easy, right? It's like different. And then you're talking about, like, mind you, at that point I'm still clueless. Like, I knew a little bit more of what I'm looking into. So then we go through the roadmap. She gets her PET scan results, and then they tell us, okay, she starts chemo right away. Oh well, she needed her port inserted.
I didn't know I was gonna have another surgery until that same week that I was gonna start chemo. So I had surgery on Monday, and then I started chemo that same
That
week on Thursday.
whatever Valentine's landed on that
Yeah.
year, or like on the 2025th, so then she started chemo. And then yeah, but even before, I was just like, okay, well, you know, in her head, like she's told you, it's easy. I'll take the easy route. It's like not easy. And in my head, it's like, well, how is this gonna affect her later on down the road? How is she gonna be able to have kids? It's not like, what are we doing to
Yeah.
say? Because then I told him like, hey, let me freeze her eggs. You know, like let me do you know, remove her eggs and freeze them so in case she wants to later on have kids, she has that option. And they're like, no, we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So then they put her on Lupra, which is, they
Birth
shut down
control.
her reproductive system to kind of protect it. That's the way that they go. And in my head, it's just like, God only knows if she's going to or not. Like, it's going to be, a 50-50. So then I asked her, well, what out of your patients that you have treated like this, and that's the protocol, how many of them have actually had kids? And then she's like, well, they're all very little still.
Yeah.
Like, they're all barely becoming adults. And I'm just like, how do you, like, for me, it's like, that doesn't give me, like,
Like no
nothing.
self